Hello, world, and welcome to Code or Not to Code. I'm Mili Eva, and I'm super happy to be here today. And as always, I'm here with Stefan. How are you doing?
Well, I have the feeling that since the last 3-4 episodes, I always say it's too hot. But
Yeah,
I tried to come up with something new, but I got nothing. It's too hot.
you got. Oh, that's fair enough. It's just too warm to think. If you're new to this show, we are two friends who meet online every other week and make stupid promises on live. Live on stream. And I think last time we learned a little bit. We learn something new every single episode, but last time we learned a little bit of French, which was super exciting. And so I think we said, oh, next time we should do Spanish. And then we figured out that neither Stefan nor myself can speak Spanish, but there were some phrases that you can learn, like buenas noches and que calor.
What is both?
Well, buenas noches is good evening, because it's evening where we're at right now, and que calor is how warm or how hot, or like, oh my god, it's too warm. And I think that's definitely true for most of Europe today. But especially Central Europe, where we're located. It's come to those kinds of episodes. We have them every year. If you're interested in the previous episodes, go to our channel and check them out. But we have this episode every year where we're just like, oh my god, it's way too warm to think. So just please bear with us today, and let's have a nice time together. But yeah, generally about the channel, if you're new to this particular show, we meet every other week and work on our .NET tool. And the kind of thing is that this is the first .NET tool I've ever built. I'm actually really, really new to this entire world. Whereas Stefan has a lot of experience, and together we're just, doing our best and working together, building this tool together. And so far, every single episode, we both learned something. And I think that's a really important point to make, because it's easy for me to learn, because basically everything's new to me. But if Stefan learns something, then there's literally something for everyone in each and every episode. So you can we've built a .NET tool live on stream, so you can obviously code with us or work next to what we're doing, or you can just stay with us and think through our code, or you can just literally listen to us talk and code, and you will definitely, no matter how you sort of join us tonight, you'll definitely be learning something. Am I right? What do you think?
Unquestionably. And well, if not learning through our success, then learning through our failure.
yeah, absolutely. So either you can just next time you go to work, you can be like, watch the stream and I learned this really cool thing. Or you can be like, watch the stream and they really they really failed at doing this and that one right. And so you can, you'll always be able to take something with you to your work or to your private coding sessions, whatever you do. Hello, Salty Devil. You're one of the regulars. Thanks so much for joining tonight. It's a pleasure to have the regulars back, as always. That's literally what makes our day. But if you're interested in the .NET tool and what we've implemented so far, we've been working with user directors, with experimental interceptors. You've been on our GitHub page. You can see all the different social medias where you can follow us, and we can also see our episodes, how we built it, or obviously our code and what we've built so far. But currently, we actually have been looking at nullable adoption, or how we adopt nullable reference types to our project. And we're going to continue with that today. But before we head into the coding fun, we have a little bit of trivia for you. Yeah. Or when I say we, of course, I mean Stefan. So what have you got for us today?
Why I love trivia so much? Because, well, there is trivia about trivia, because in C#, well, everything that doesn't compile into the IL is called trivia in Roslyn, like a comment. So this comment here is trivia. So you could actually I could share some trivia about trivia. This is actually, I'm noting this down. This will be my next talk. I'm submitting trivia about trivia. Anyway, I digress. We have, with our tool, we are diving into how to evaluate nullability at runtime. So we have this nullable reporter that shows if you would turn on nullable reference types, how many warnings, how many nullable warnings you would get. So we actually inspect the nullability info at compile time. So let's say we have a class C here with a string returning method. If we take a look at the syntax tree, then we see already at compile time that this string here is yet another node in the syntax tree, a nullable type, which now has as an element type the string keyword, which is a predefined type. So every type that is in the language, like string, int, float, double, and such, are predefined keywords. We could also use the type directly, which is uppercase string, or to qualify it fully, like the system.string. That's still the very same. Now, just syntactically, it looks a bit different because it's not a qualified name. We have an identifier and such. Anyway, it's still a nullable type, and we have the question mark token here. So, but that's from a compile time perspective. Now, can we also evaluate this as during runtime? Yes, we can. And this is a type which has been introduced in .NET. Not sure. There is an amazing site, the APIs of .NET, where we can search, and that's the nullability info and nullability info context. So they have been introduced in .NET 6. Yeah. So we can use this nullability info. Well, not directly. We first need to create a nullability info context, because there is reflection going on when you inspect your type system at runtime. That's usually then done via reflection. And you can create a nullability info context first, because you can reuse that context, because it caches information, so that if you do the same query twice, the second time will be way cheaper because it will be storing in that cache. If you're not concerned about the caching, you can just create this context and then discard it later on. And via this context, we can create actual nullability infos. So just the name without the context. It's now nullability info. And we can create, let's go to the nullability info context. There it is. We can create from event info, field info, parameter info, and property info. So those are the elements that actually can be nullable. For example, well, a field in a type, or when we have a method, we have parameter infos. That's both the parameters we pass in the method, but also the return type. That's the return parameter. Well, from a reflection point of view, it uses the same type. Also properties. Now let's take a look at this method. So this method currently only has a return type. We could inspect just parameters. If we pass in a string, we could inspect this one as well. But let's check out this return type. So now we need the type of this class. So we do type of C. And from this type, this is just a system type. We can ask the return. No, first we need the method. So we can get the method. Get methods would return all of the methods. I only want this specific method, which is called M. So I say M. This will now, since all of this is public, that works. If it was private, then you need to pass in some flags, but let's not focus on this too much. Now we have our method. This is now our method info. If that works, no, it doesn't. But this is now system reflection method info. And this method info now has a return parameter. We can ask this to get the return parameter. So we call the parameter overload of this create. And now we have here in our info the nullability info at runtime of this string return. So we can do console.writeLine and ask the read state. And this is now nullable. If we were to return this question mark, now this turns to not null.
Huh.
But there is more. There's actually 3 states. So there is nullable, not null, and like oblivious. We don't know, because what if this code has been compiled before the C# 8 feature was enabled, or before you actually opt into it, because per default it's actually off. So if we disable it, nullable disable. In our case, well, we can both disable warnings and annotations. Let's only disable the annotations, because the annotations are relevant for this reflection info here. Now it's unknown, because we have disabled nullable reference types now in this scope.
That's funny.
And yeah, so this is how we can read it at compile time. There is also this also could be an array. Now, if it's an array, well, this array is not null. So we could say array question mark. I'll use string here again to make it a little bit shorter. Array question mark. So now this array is nullable. But what if I want to get the nullability of the element type of this array? So nullable info also has an element type, which is in turn nullable, because this is only not null if it actually is an array.
I love it. Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be null. So the nullability info and nullability info context have also been compiled with nullability in mind. And now we actually get the nullability info of the element type. So if we now get the read state of that, we actually now get this string here. So we now have not null, because we don't have a question mark on the string. And if we do string question mark array question mark, now we have nullable, because both the array is nullable, but also each element in that array is nullable. So we can annotate this differently. And if you didn't have this type, if you would like to do this manually, because, well, how reflection works usually, or how nullable reference types work, that's just a compile time feature. What it does is placing attributes on your types and methods and members and everywhere. So you could technically read those attributes yourself, but it's rather complex. So there is 2 attributes you need to consider. There is the nullable context attribute and the nullable attribute. We see here return, so the return type is annotated with nullable 2. I hope I remember correctly. Nullable 0, I think, means oblivious. Actually, let's take a look at, I don't want to lie, let's take a look at the nullability info read state. What's that? That's the nullability state. Let's take a look at this. Creates a nullability info, and nullability info has a read state. That's a nullability info state. And we have the enums here. And I'm not sure if they're actually, let's go to the source, then we see them. So yes, okay. So 0 means unknown, oblivious, we don't know. 1 means not null, so there is no question mark. Nullable 2, 2 means nullable, there is a question mark. Now going back to here, we see the nullable 2 means question mark. Therefore, we have the nullable a nullable string of nullable array. If we would split this into just one is null, now it gets a little bit complicated, because now this nullable is actually a collection.
Oh wow!
where the first element, the first element refers to the array itself, and the second element to the element type of the array, so the string. So we have 2 annotated, the question mark here, 1 not annotated, no question mark here. If I would swap that, now it would be vice versa. So we have the 1, the array is not annotated, 2 is annotated. And the same also would work for if you do something with generics. Well, let's return, for the fun of it, a dictionary of int string question mark. And the more generics you have here, the more elements. Well, I need to mix it up a little, because there is an optimization to which I'll come just in a second. So this also applies to generics, where we just have first element 1 not annotated, not null, second element annotated, nullable. There we go. The thing is, now we would have a lot of these nullability of this nullable of these attributes, a lot. Now they are also part of the, since this is compiled, so they are part of the outcoming assembly and of the, for example, if you have a NuGet package, because now if I publish my library as a NuGet package, somebody else should also get these nullable annotations. And so this is how my question marks turn into this attribute, so that now the consumer compiles their code with my library, and then this is how they get nullable warnings due to the annotations that I compiled here. So the nullable annotations really turn into these attributes. And I could read this manually, but there is also an optimization. Let's say I have string question mark here, string A, string question mark B. The thing is that if we would now basically actually have 3 annotations here on this parameter, on this parameter, and on this parameter.
Yeah.
And for every element that we have, and that may be annotated or not, we now get another attribute. And this would bloat the output assembly, or could bloat the output assembly. So there's an optimization in place. That's a nullable context. So the nullable context sets basically a more or less default. If not specified otherwise, it will be true. And in this case, because we have 2 nullables, this will be the optimization, because these 2 could be collected into 1, or let's actually make 3 out of them, so it shows even more. There were 3 2s, not nullable. Let's go back again. Did I get that right? Let's go to the source. Yes, nullable is 2.
Yeah.
So we have 3 2s. Therefore, this is optimized into a single context 2. Now, this context is applied to this method, so it applies to the entire method. So to the return type. Now, this return type is not specified. Therefore, it will be the 2 nullable. B and C are not specified. Therefore, it will get from the method nullable. A is specified with the nullable, so this will be overridden. This will not be 2, but this will actually be 1, and therefore nullable. And applying this rule, and these rules, if I do another method, now this optimization, this nullable context attribute actually now moves to the class. So you would need to go ahead and go to the class, and if you have nested classes, then it gets super confusing. And so you don't have to do this resolving of which attribute now really counts yourself. This is where the nullability info context is super convenient, and also quite crucial, because when you go into the land of properties, if you do a public, let's say string my property, let's do get, I just have a good old get set property. And now let's get property. This is now, of course, a property info. I went into override mode. How to disable this? Yes. Info. What am I doing? No, this is property. There we go. That's not prop. And now we get the nullability info is property, and that actually makes a difference between the read state and the write state. Because, well, per default, if I just have no question mark here, both the read state and the write state are nullable. If I do question mark, now both are nullable. But what if there is also special attributes? There's an entire site of this, nullable attributes. Nullable attributes, I think, should give us the NRT nullable attributes. These. There's a whole set of additional attributes for special case conditions. I guess this would be a whole separate talk to chat about these. But what if I want to split? What if I want to have a property that may take null as a setter, but never returns null in the getter? So where in the setter I actually say, hey, is the value that I set null? Then I create something random, which ensures that the specing field never is null, really. But I still allow setting null. And this is where now this allow null attribute comes in. Because if I go into my code here and I would create a new instance of C and say c.my property and set my property and set null to it, I make it not nullable. Now we get a warning here because I try to set null. But what if I want to enable the setting of the null because I have this code here that ensures that never will be null? I now can put this allow null attribute on top. And now it is that's the write state is nullable. I'm allowed to write null. Write state is nullable. But the read state, I will not get a null, is not null. So I can actually safely say c.myProperty.
Wait.
Property.length. And I will not get a nullable warning here because I now changed so there is no warning here because I allowed null. If I wouldn't allow null and make this string question mark, now of course I get the warning here because my property may be null. I'm accessing length without a null check, and this could result in a null reference exception, and it actually does. But if I'm splitting this, then I'm still get the null reference exception because I lie here, because I don't have this code in place. I say, hey, I allow null, but the backing field still is actually now set to null. So this property here is lying. I would really need to add this code. Maybe let's actually do that. We paste this in here and say, where is it?
But can I just, maybe I'm missing something like super, super obvious, but like if the write state is nullable, how can the read state not be nullable? Am I being silly? Is that
no?
It doesn't make sense, does it? It's just
well, yes, it does.
But how?
But for an auto property, an auto property where I just have a getter and setter.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. It doesn't make sense because I'm lying. One of either now is a lie. If you do some custom code, if you don't have an auto property, now actually have a full property, we have a custom getter and setter. Let's see, I have here my backing field, and I set the backing field to empty string, which means the backing field is not null.
Okay.
And when I get the not null property, that's cool. But what if somebody sets null? Let's just set user set null or something. So if we get null as an input, we still set a not null string. So we now have ensured that even though if I set null, now let's console.writeLine that, console.writeLine, and we ask that property, although I set null, well, we actually ensure that it never will be null, and now we get the user set null from here.
Okay, got it.
Now the set allows a null, but the get does not return null.
I love it. That's so cool. I love like SharpLab is so cool, like especially for learning. It's like a really, really great tool. So if you're seeing it for the first time, please start using it. It's super cool and it just reveals so many things.
I use it almost every day.
Yeah, I bet.
My second
I do have another silly question. I mean, I'm not sure if it's silly questions. It could be. We'll see.
If it's about C#, then I'm fairly certain it's not a silly question.
No, it was before, because actually I think you also showed that last time that when you with the attributes, so like you see like, okay, this is nullable, and when you have like multiple methods, then it gets optimized, and you said it's because it sort of bloats the compiled code. And my question is like, why is that a problem? Does it affect performance? Or
not one-time performance, but if I have a huge library that has a lot of annotations, and I have a lot of properties, and I have a lot of properties, I have a lot of methods, a lot of events and such. I would have a lot of these attributes. Well, okay, this is just a bunch of attributes, so it won't bloat it really significantly, but if the library is already huge, then it gets a little bit huger. And let's say this is in a NuGet package. Now, well, downloading the NuGet package takes a while. And now let's say everybody is using this NuGet package. This should be rather highly optimized, not only runtime performance, but also in compile time performance and such, because while the build time now could be a little bit suboptimal, because I'm always downloading this new huge package. Well, I guess I should cache it. And if it's the same version I know already, use it from a cache. This is usually what's happening. But yeah, and what if I have not only one of these dependencies that have nullable enabled, but 100, and they now not just because they enable nullable reference types, now they all get a little bit bigger. And especially size is a concern from the .NET team. So I guess they mainly did this maybe for themselves to keep their their installers and all the binaries that you ship small.
Limits. Yeah.
Especially for libraries.
Awesome.
And
cool.
so yeah, I'm not sure if I don't think there's really a one-time performance impact, but build time, maybe load time, because the application is a little bit bigger. There is a little bit more to load. Well, I guess it's small things, but small things add up.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. And I love it when it's. Mm-hmm.
And if you have now this tons of properties and this optimizations all over the place, and also now split read and write state, this is something that you don't want to do by hand, and this is where nullability info context comes in ultra handy.
Nice. I have a question. How did you find SharpLab? Did somebody show you, or did you just stumble upon it?
I think it was I can't recall. It's been a while. It's now so internalized that I forgot the source. I'm fairly certain it was from a talk. I'm not sure if this was an in-person thing or from an online talk. But I think somebody just casually opened it in their presentation, super casually, and I was like, what?
This is why it's so important to go to conferences and talks, and because it can be simple things like that, where somebody just talks about something that you might never use, but uses a tool that you will start using every day, and it will make your life so much easier. And if you're interested in seeing some awesome talks, Stefan has actually a bunch of them on his YouTube channel, so go check that out.
That's also now I need to, because it's just perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
we have not rehearsed this at all. We have not. But the perfect is amazing, because on the 7th, is it on the 8th? I'm not sure when my slot is. Actually, it says there. But at the Tekorama in Utrecht in the Netherlands, I do actually talk about null and void. So I will also talk about the nullability info context, and basically, and 1 hour a 1 hour consolidated version of our last 3-4 streams.
Yay. Nice. Awesome. Is it in person, or can you also join?
This is in person, I'm not sure if they publish the recording later, but this is in person, And I think this is the Tekorama, they're always in a cinema. So this will be in the big screen. I am
nice. That's so cool.
Is there a word to be both excited and terrified?
I think excitement kind of includes a little bit of terror. At least I've never been excited without being slightly terrified as well. I'm not sure if I'm misusing the word. Again, English is not my first language, so I might be. Or maybe it's because I always tell myself when I'm really nervous, I'm like, I'm not nervous, I'm just excited, and then it sort of helps my brain to get over myself. But no, it looks really cool. Like the whole like the colors and the stars and the marketing. So it looks really, really cool. I wish I could join. But yeah. In case there is a recording that you can watch afterwards, we'll definitely share it with you in our next stream. So you should totally see our next stream as well. But we'll get to that later. We also have a very special stream planned for next time. So
we definitely have. There were some talks on our channel there were a couple.
Yeah, there you go. It's got some really cool talks. Yeah, and quite a variety. Been doing this for a while.
Yeah, kind of.
And obviously, if you have any cool talks coming up, definitely let us know. You can, again, join us on any of the social medias and follow us and reach out to us and show us your talks or stuff that you're interested in. We're always open for questions, comments, suggestions, and knowledge. If you have some knowledge to share, please do. We love learning and we love connecting with you. Awesome. That was a really cool trivia session. Well done. Okay, what are we doing for our main part of the stream?
Well, trying to put our knowledge about nothing to good use. So we are using
knowledge
today,
about nothing. Nice.
which is a lot, I guess. I know a lot about nothing.
Is that how you're gonna start your talk?
Now I will.
My name is Stefan,
I
know a lot about nothing.
Yeah, this may become my catchphrase. Yeah.
Nice.
So today we are using. Last time we used an early access preview of Rider. Today we're using the release candidate of the next Rider version, and let's find out if there are. I'm not sure if I found. I took a brief look at the documentation. Not sure if I found any new features of Code With Me, but at least they should be more stable. So
yeah, again, if you know the show, we do have tried, I think, most or maybe potentially all of the
I have a comment somewhere.
cooperative coding features in different IDEs. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, those are the ones that we've tried. And we want to try Rider Code With Me, which is, as Stefan said, a release candidate. But yeah, so we've already done it last time, and to be honest, it was super preview last time we did it, and it actually worked a lot better than I expected it to.
Yeah.
For like a super early preview. So I'm really excited to see if it's even better today, or if they broke something. We'll try it out. We'll test it for you.
If there is something funky, then we'll give some feedback. So that it's not in the final version.
Yeah. Awesome, but there's so many comments as well that
we always seem to add more to do's than actual dones. Oh yes. So exactly where we left last time, we wanted to. Maybe let's take a look at the test.
Yeah.
We have our project builder. We also got some feedback to maybe use some because we currently have a solution builder and a project builder, but we don't have a document builder yet. So we have some feedback to build a bit of a document builder. This will be a future episode. So for now, we'll stick with that. And we add a couple of documents. And currently there is 2 migration strategies. Do you still have the comment for these somewhere? I think here, yeah. We support. Well, there is more migration strategies, but we want to support 2 main paths of them. So one where you do a bit of upfront work. So you first enable nullability on a project, but then add nullable disable for each and every document so that you effectively don't change anything. But when you add a new document to your compilation or a new file to your project, I'm always using the Roslyn syntax now, lingo. Then when you add a new file, then it will per default be nullable enabled because you won't have. I don't think that any C# template has like the nullable disable on top. So you add new code with nullable in mind already, and then just start deleting this nullable disable, setting your annotations and fixing your warnings, and then eventually you just remove nullable disable. Oh no, hold on. Eventually you're done because you have removed all the nullable disables and they're done. So this is where we take on some upfront work. The other migration strategy is that we do basically cleanup at the end, where you just start. When you, for example, add a new document, you would also need to add nullable enable. And with existing documents, you add nullable enable, or maybe nullable enable warnings or errors, warnings or annotations, and then implementing your nullable annotations and fixing up your warnings. And then at the end, you end up with a project where you have nullable enable all over the place. And we then go ahead and remove that and instead set it on the project level. This is how we want to support both of these nullable migration strategies. We are currently in the before migration part, where we go to each and every document and set nullable disable on top of each document, which is trivia. So we add some trivia. And we still, this is our to-do, we still need to enable it on a project level. But first, we need a failing test, because our test that we don't really have a name yet for passes.
Oh,
well,
no.
actually, it doesn't.
We forgot to put the name, didn't we? Or did we forget? Or did I just forget and you were aware?
No, totally forgot. I
Okay, cool.
kind of said, okay, let's. Ooh, I get a firewall warning.
Also, really, I have to apologize. I did mute myself because I think my neighbor is sort of, I don't know, doing some building work. So I hope it's not too noisy. Can you hear anything? A little bit, right?
Not really, no.
Okay, it's really loud on my end.
Now that I know what a quarium is from last time, I should be able to discern.
No, that's good.
Discern?
Good, I'm not distracting. It sounds really funny.
Well, now that you mention it, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like sawing? What is it?
Hammering?
It's very funny.
Well, maybe they're building.
Maybe somebody's gonna come down in a second and be like, "Hi, I'm here now." Do like a superhero landing and be like, "Woohoo! Welcome to Code or Not to Code. Buenas noches." Teach us some Spanish. Yeah.
I looked it up. Mi español es muy malo.
Oh, that means my Spanish is really bad, right?
Yeah.
See, I did a couple of lessons on Duolingo in preparation for the stream. But all I learned was manzanas, which means apples. And yo bebo leche, which means I drink milk, I hope. So nothing really useful for this stream. But
what means null? Nulla.
Nulla.
Well, nullo?
Really?
I guess the feminine version nulla and the masculine version nullo.
So I'm a nulla and you're a...
I'm a nullo.
Just joking.
Yeah.
It's
the
so
self-burn. We do way more self-burns than we used to, don't we?
More or less?
I think we do more self-burns, yeah.
Are you... Really? Really?
Maybe I'm just realizing that we do self-burns now.
Potentially. I mean, I'm still pretty insecure as a person, but I think like the first couple of streams I was like terrified of like copy pasting, so I feel like I've grown in confidence there quite a bit, so for me that's a plus. But yeah, maybe you can do self-burns. What the hell?
Yeah, now I hear it.
It's like like right here, so like if something happens you're gonna see it live on stream, and then I'll go viral. Do you think I'll go viral? That would be cool.
But also hospital. No, I don't know if that's worth it.
Well, you know, everyone. Yeah, you'll be the first to know, so you can come help me.
Okay, will do. Just in case.
All right, but let's name this test potentially, huh?
No, I'm terrified. Yeah, please don't.
Me too.
Please don't.
Me too. It's so funny. Such a funny noise. Never heard this before.
What do we do? So we have a null oblivious project, and we enable. Well, we enable nullable on project, but disable for non-generated documents. It's kind of a long name, but
oh no, yeah,
descriptive.
No, well,
no, too long.
Yeah.
Would you shorten it?
Yeah.
How would you shorten it?
Okay, so null previous project, enable non project, but disable for non. Oh no, 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 because Oh no, that's actually really difficult. It's a very good question.
Yes. Hello, Sahara, thanks
Hello
for joining. We are currently trying to figure out the best name for our unit test here.
for our unit test. Yeah. So this would probably be a very descriptive name, but I've just voted against it because it's just way too long. So if you have any suggestions, sort of our format is like, wait, what's a format? It's like the method on the
Method
test,
on the test, yes. Then
the
the scenario
scenario,
and the expected output.
the expected outcome. And our expected outcome is kind of long. Enable nullable on project, but
Well,
disable for non.
I guess this shows that we may. Well, we still want our names descriptive since this is our spec, so this should be descriptive. But maybe if that's too long, maybe that shows that our test is, we're actually testing two things, maybe for generated and non-generated documents. So I guess we could refactor this test to, do only one thing and test only one aspect of our thing and not all at once. So I guess that's an indicator to split the test.
Yeah, well done.
But so fixed.
That makes sense.
Future us problem.
Yeah. Also, like if you're new to the stream, something that we do is that we always start with less issues than we end with. So we don't. I don't know how we make progress. It's actually. It's actually not really possible, logical. Never mind.
No. So we'll never finish. Yeah. We also have content. And we now want for our expected project, we want to set the nullable state of the project to true or nullable enable, whatever, to then that we then want to assert and see the test actually fail. So actually, maybe let's do the assertion first. So if we go to our assertion here, we also want to assert the nullable state. So we first, let's see, we first assert if the name is equal. Maybe let's do it afterwards. If we have the expect, this is a feature that I really like. I'm not sure if since what version that was this now, this version or the previous version already, you see parent scopes in the scroll window here. I don't know the name of the feature, but this is kind of showing up in all the editors that I use, also in Visual Studio and in Visual Studio Code. That you see the parent nodes or from syntax tree or the enclosing type or method that we are currently in. So that's really cool. So I see what arguments we have at our disposal. So we have if the expected dot. Okay, that's a project, and we need the nullable. We need the compilation options, I think, because if we go to the C# compilation options, let's call them expected options. Yes, I think these now have nullable context options. Yes, and these nullable context options, they are an enum that we can nicely compare. Yes, cool. Ooh, they are flags enum. No, they should be quite comparable. And if they are not equal, so we have the expected options and the actual options. And if they are not equal, then we throw invalid operation exception is, I think that, oh no, we actually threw an XUnit exception. Yes. With a message. Not the message bus, but a message. And our message will be something like expected nullable.
Oh, the autocomplete is really cool.
Does it? I was not paying attention.
There.
No options, yeah. So we need string interpolation. And actual nullable context. Ooh,
I know,
that's really
right?
amazing. Yes, cool. And then we throw a new X-unit exception. I really need to use these more. Do I have to? Oh no, I don't have this enabled. I promised this last time to enable this, right?
Yeah, but we didn't say when, so we
That
only
is
did the
right.
Spanish for this episode.
Oh
So
yes.
that's
So
one
for the
tick. And for the
next one, we'll have that.
for the next one or for the one after that?
For the one
Does it
after,
work?
yes.
For the one after.
Yeah, most
And
likely.
if you
we're
want to know
spoiling.
why we can't do it next time, you're gonna have to stick with us for the next hour and a bit because we're only gonna reveal it at the end. Yeah.
That's good. So we get the compilation options. Now we have a bit of a problem since how do we get the C#? Can you recall? How can we get the C? Because we only have a project. Now this project could represent both a C# project or a Visual Basic project. So we don't really know from static compilation point of view if these compilation options really are C# compilation options. Do you know how to typecast them?
No, but wait, typecast?
Or cast or convert the type.
Okay.
Do you know how do we get from one to the other if it isn't
from
within
compilation
the type hierarchy?
Wait, from C# compilation what? How can C#?
Yes. So we want
can
C#
I just
compilation.
do a little params here and cast it like this? No. Yes. Okay. You've become so good at your poker face. In the first few episodes, like I could look at your face and I knew whether I was going to the right direction or not. And yeah, I can't do it anymore. Like I was so certain I was wrong. I was like, oh, is there a 2 Visual Basic project or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's the beard. I don't know.
Is the beard new? Didn't you always have a beard?
Well,
not always, but like
no, I'm just lazy. I'm just lazy shaving. It will grow until food gets stuck in it, and then it must disappear.
Oh,
I'm just lazy.
Okay, fair enough. But
you have a party going on here.
I'm so sorry. I can't. Like, I know you've been very good and had your window closed, but I will suffocate today if I do that.
Yeah.
So I will refuse. I think it's against the human rights.
Most likely.
Okay, but do we want? So we want what kind of project do we want actually?
Yeah, we just those are just compilation options of type compilation options. We don't know if they are C# compilation options or Visual Basic compilation options. I don't think we have the Visual Basic namespace here, but
we're gonna cast them.
Yeah.
To what?
We just assume they are the C# version of the compilation options because they are in a then we can just use var. Then we can just use var here because we already know. We do get a nullable warning here because this will fail if hold on, nullable context options, they are actually nullable. They are nullable. But let's also assume that they are not null. So not only do we assume that we actually have a C# project, we also assume that we have those compilation options because, this is our internal assertion code, and those projects that we create, we use via our project creator, and we know that they are set. Well, what we could do is we could do an assert null here, assert not null, to basically ensure this promise on for debug builds that they are not null. Then we can get rid of this compilation. But yeah, this would still fail with a invalid cast exception if we would pass in a Visual Basic project. But then our test would fail with an invalid cast exception to C# compilation options. So I guess this would also be then an indicator. We would know what is going on in our test. So that's fair. We don't need to be too defensive here and check, hey, is this really a C# project? Can we cast to it? So yeah, let's just safely cast, which may fail. Is that a safe? No, that's not a safe. Because you could also do a cast like you could also do an S cast. You could also say if expected as compilation options, and now they may be null. So you could then say nullable, if this is not null, then the cast is successful and we can actually use it. So if the cast fails, then the instance will be null. You could also combine this. If you do this as and then is not null check, you can also combine that. This is also what Ryder is suggesting here already, I suppose. Use pattern matching.
Ooh.
You could do an is pattern matching, then give it a name afterwards. So if I just do it without a name, that's just, is this type? So this is both a null check. Is it not null? And is it that type? Because at compile time, we only know it's a compilation options. At runtime, we want to see, hey, is this really a C# compilation options? And then we can combine this by giving it a name, and this will now be not null in this if check, in this if context, and now we can use it and do stuff with it and not run in any nullable issues. Well, if we were to use it, let's say, in an else block, this would, of course, now be the... we actually get a... Oops. Not initialized. Okay. So this nullable is only initialized when we are in this if block here. So we're going to compile an error. So we cannot use this nullable outside of this if. So this is now safe. We will only dereference this nullable here if this is not null and the C# compilation options. But in our case, since we assume it is, we just do a hard cast and fail if it isn't.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much. Thanks for joining.
And yes, let's run the test.
Awesome.
What we can actually do, one test here. And I would still expect it to pass because we don't set the nullable state in our expectation just yet. Yeah.
Nice.
So let's implement that. Let's do control dot, add a method to our project builder. We have, well, this is only for the C# version of it, yes, because Visual Basic doesn't have nullable reference types. So in our C# version of it, we do this with something which returns now itself, so to be chainable. Oh, hold on, we have here the statics. I think I actually intended it to be in here, yes. Okay.
Oops.
Do we have a with already? No, let's add that document. No, let's add it here. Oh, okay. No, this. We just have a project builder. We don't have a C# project builder and a Visual Basic project builder. We just have a project builder. So we would now have this method would fail for a Visual Basic project, but I guess that's fine. So we could do something like, let's see what happens when we create the C# project. We actually set the language version. We create C#. We create a new project builder with the language name C#. Yeah. So we can, and then the project builder actually is language. Does it store that language name? No, it does not. But we could store this language name. Private with only string language. And now in our with nullable, say, hey, if the language is not C#, if there's a constant, I think that's language names.C#. Yes. If it's not C#, then, well, what's a string? We could also do it like so. Throw no invalid operation exception and say NRTs only work for C#. Because they don't work for Visual Basics, for C# projects. Yeah. What completion. Cool.
Yep.
And now I would like you to save, because what we do in this wiffer is just we now want to create another field where there could be two. We could have two options. We either store another field with the current nullable context options, or we update the compilation options that we already have immediately. We could do one of these.
I mean, if we don't have to have a new field, why do it, right?
Yes. Then we again do the same thing. So, well, we kind of now confirmed that, hey, we are in a C# project, so now we can do the cast safely without fear of any invalid cast exceptions. And then set these to, and then set the nullable context options. So let's first cast them to
nullable context options.
Well, again, first we need the C#, because we only have, because our project builder works both for C# and Visual Basic projects. Maybe actually, if we have more and more methods that only work on C# but not on Visual Basic, maybe it makes sense to actually have an abstract project builder, then have a concrete C# project builder and a concrete Visual Basic builder, so that we only have methods that actually will work, and then we have already safely typed C# compilation options and Visual Basic context options. Then we will see here on the Visual Basic context options, we don't have compilation options, we don't have the nullable context and so on. But for now, let's still go with our pattern. And if we get more and more methods, it makes sense to then have a bit of a hierarchy there and be more type safe.
C# consolidation options.
Yep.
Is that root? Oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. And then I do this cast thing that I did before.
Indeed, yes.
C# compilation options, and then we just need the field, right?
Yes, I think we prefix our fields with underscore. Yes.
Correct. Cool. Awesome.
Well, since we are in we could also just call them options for shorter, but yeah.
Are you potentially?
No,
I prefer shorter.
The scope won't be all too big. And now we set let's see what we have on options. Let's start into it and see what nullable things we have. Something with nullable context.
Nullable context options.
Nullable context options. And these, again, well, this is we cannot set this property. So assume there is a with method on. Because in Wassler everything is immutable. So I'm assume not on these options, but on the options themselves, there is a with nullable context options.
Oh.
This is usually the pattern of all the Wassler stuff.
Easy.
If it's immutable, then they have withers to not mutate it, but to return a copy that has this new state. That has the existing state, but not this one. With this one mutated, yeah. And this takes nullable context options. So now there is two options. We could either set them directly to enable, or we pass nullable context options to this method and then just forward them over there. So then the caller basically can set nullable context options to whatever they want.
Well, since this is called with nullable enable.
Well, we could rename it to with nullable context options. So yeah, what do you prefer? Either we do with nullable enable, or we not have to caller worry about it, or we expose this flags enum and
I think just to think a little bit ahead and how we might use this again, it might be worth empowering our future selves to sort of set them and renaming it. Yeah.
Usually there is a concept for that. There is actually a concept called avoid hasty abstractions. So you shouldn't abstract something that you're not 100% sure that you're actually gonna need. But I guess in this case it's all right.
Fair enough.
Then
with nullable context options, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm just gonna copy how they call it in their signature, just paste it in, and
easy. Thank you. Of course, this is now not.
Yes, indeed. Compilation options, I guess, or yes, or just compilate. No, it's not just compilation. Compilation options. Oh yes, yeah, I like that. So we have here the field, yeah. And now this returns a copy, so this will not mutate the original compilation options.
Oh,
So let's set them back to the field, and then we actually mutated our field. So we worked around
so
the
we
immutability.
overwrite
Yes,
the field? Ah,
yes,
okay.
with the
That's
new
clear.
version of these options.
All right. That doesn't work, does it?
This fails because we made them read only. So yeah, let's get rid of the read only. So we can actually our parse options are not read only either. So I guess we have at some point, we have something like with features where we mutate these parse options just the same way. We do something with a wither and replace them. And then we just return this. So let's follow the pattern here.
This.
Return this.
Okay. So just, since we're testing out like a preview version, I put like autocomplete, and autocomplete was this, and what is that? Not is that a semicolon?
Semicolon, yes.
Yeah. But I did tab, and it just did this and not the semicolon. Oops. Yeah. So there you go.
Cool. I'll be moving that down to, since we already have a wither, to the other wither. So to group this a little. And
I just saw that there are a couple of things like add documents, this overload, and like add analyzer that are we not using them?
Should be using that one because kind of.
But it's grayed out with use on your end as well, right?
It is indeed. I thought we were kind of. Oh no! Yes. Okay. Well, I kind of wrote this method because what we needed is add a generator, because we added a generator to test our our interceptor locator. So that
if you're interested in our interceptor locator, head to our YouTube channel and check out our previous episodes.
That's amazing. So we
I'm just shameless.
But well, you're good at it.
Thank you.
I would say. But then I felt like I also want to do it because that's very similar. Since I just implemented it for analysis as well. Should we need them? Because it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, we only need the generators for now. Yeah, we could delete that, but I don't wanna.
Let's not. Let's just be cheeky. It's just you and me, so and all of our viewers.
The rest of the world, yes. So let's use our new wither and say we wanna enable. And now our test should fail.
Nice.
With something like, hey, expected one thing, but totally got the other thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got, oh yes, we expected null workers to be enabled, but they actually disabled. Cool. Fading test, time to implement in our nullability migrator. Would you like to go ahead and, well, I guess it's very similar again. Would I like to mutate this project to use the new nullability info context? No, I'm now using the wrong word, but yeah, mutating the compilation options of this project.
Sure. Compilations options. And mutate them to, I guess, something. No.
So again, we need to convert these to C# compilation options because, could be.
No compilation options.
Projects.
Oh,
in here we could also use, I think in here we don't use options yet. We could use just options for a shorter name.
All right. Let's make the same mistake again and then change it. I'm cheeky today. Okay. C# compilation options.
Yes.
But it doesn't like me. Why? It's the same. Can I just do?
Hello, Shapam.
Yes.
This is C# indeed. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
But you're looking a little bit behind the scenes. So we're actually using the compiler itself to follow our bidding. And then we just ignore. Yes, I think we need. So what we have here is, we get our method here gets a gets a project.
Yeah.
And now, well, it could be either C# or Visual Basic.
Oh.
Since this is now our production code, this may actually be called. We don't really have it under control. So this could actually, if somebody uses our tool and would use it on a Visual Basic project, then this here would fail. So we actually would need a test against Visual Basic. Well, first we need a failing test, but here now we need to guard against that.
Yes, because we like test-driven development.
Oh, yes. But for now, let's assume that's a C# project. We need to guard against Visual Basic. And yes, now we have C# compilation options. And now let's, again, mutate this C# compilation options to use the nullability info context.
Summer.
Mm-hmm.
But now we need.
Yeah, I guess we can set them here directly.
Oh, okay.
To enable. Yes. Oh, cool. And this now again returns new options. So where do we set these new options? Well, we need to now on the project, we need to say project.with compilation options.
What? Really? With compilation options?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
and we could now yes.
Yeah.
And this C# compilation options, this takes compilation options.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. So these are C# compilation options. If we would check the hierarchy, C# compilation options. Is there Alt F12? Is this inline thing? Because I really like this inline thing. The C# compilation options are actually inheriting from compilation options. So they are in a hierarchy. C# compilation options is a compilation option. So C# compilation options has everything that compilation options have. So we can safely pass them in. Yes. But now we need to do something with this. Since in Boston everything is immutable, we now get a new project here. Shall we format like something like so? Yeah. And new project. Do we have new project already? Oh, yes, we do.
Oh,
yes, we do. So maybe let's do that at the end. I'll just move this down to keep the project mutation part grouped together. Maybe we don't have anything async. I lied here. I thought we will be async. Maybe we don't have anything async. Okay. So we have a new project here, and then we just have a new project yet again. But now we use the new project. Okay. So we do now. We get a new project that has all of these trivia set. And then we mutate the project to also have this new nullability context options. And then we return that new project. And now our test could, what's that shortcut in? Alt 9? No, Alt 7. I'm totally guessing Alt 8. Yes.
3 times the job? Oh.
Did you run it?
I didn't do anything.
Did you run? Oh, I hit space. I did not know. There's a unit test when I hit space? No, it doesn't.
Maybe was it the when you open the test explorer, it just automatically runs everything it finds?
I don't think.
What was it? What was the shortcut? No. Okay.
Alt 8. No. Why did I wanted to do right mouse, but Shift Enter. No, I did not click Shift Enter. How did I run this test? Well, I should use shortcuts anyway. Shift Enter it is. Okay. Anyway, test is green now. So we do mutate all of the project and then return we don't mutate the project, but return everything that is now new.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at our test. So we have now, our input is a bunch of C# documents that do not have the this nullable nullability context set. So there is no trivia about the nullable nullable disable. But then with our expected project that we built here, all of the documents now do have them disabled, but only the generated projects, because the auto-generated remain unchanged. Cool. To finish up the story, I think we do have a couple of to-dos. Oops.
Oops. What's that? Oh.
No, I just was stuck on the space key. No, not quite. Flashover is not a compiler. Flashover is our project name. It's a .NET tool that we publish. If you go to nougat.org, this is the package manager for .NET. So this is where you can get dependencies. If you work in web, this would be like the equivalent for JavaScript, TypeScript would be NPM, the Node package manager. I'm not sure, for example, Rust, in Rust, the packages are called crates, but I don't know the registry for these. In what else do we have? I think in C++ there is Conan. So every ecosystem has its own package manager. And if we would go to flashover.tool, this is our tool here that facilitates development tasks, such as enabling nullable reference types, which is a C# feature for already existing projects. But this is not the compiler, but we're actually using the compiler. And the compiler is Roslyn. So if you go to Roslyn repository, if you go to .NET Roslyn, this is actually, since .NET, most of .NET is open source, this is the compiler itself, again, written in C#, that is not only compiling your projects, but also parts of it you can use to automate stuff that the compiler would do too. And we're utilizing this Roslyn API to change C# projects via our tool and enable new features. And so we are using Roslyn, all of the syntax factory and how we traverse the tree and create new projects. That's all Roslyn, but it's encapsulated in our Flashover tool that is utilizing Roslyn. And now we have this nullability migrator that is enabling this new C# features, and we're returning that and then asserting that indeed we have mutated, we have changed now, we get now a new project that has all of these features enabled. But we also wanted to add a test with an empty document. So what happens if a document is empty? I'll add a document here. How would you like to call this? Maybe empty.cs?
Empty. Yeah. So, okay. But it's not its own test. It's just added. Or is it?
Excuse me?
Okay, so what do we expect to happen?
What do we expect? Yes. So this is not a generated document. So what would we expect? Just this nullable disable. Ooh, would we expect that if it's a document? Would we expect that? Or should nothing happen if it's empty?
I think. No, I think it should absolutely also be affected because I mean, I think that's a promise we kind of make with our tool. And if somebody has an empty document, I mean, chances are they just missed something, but also they potentially want to use it, and then it should also like follow the same rules as the others. So I think it should be. But I was just wondering if this is like its own like unit test, or if we just like add it to.
Oh yes. Maybe let's split it after. Let's split afterwards the test, and the sequence sequence contains no elements.
Oops.
Yes, but this is in our migrate. So there's actually a case that we do not handle. We have actually. Let's really jump to the problem. So taking a look at the call stack. No, that's the stack trace. Excuse me. We try to get the first. Cancel. I don't want to go into this enumerable code. We try to get, first is already jumping into external code. So somewhere we must have a first. Oh yeah, there we go. So maybe here, I think it's here. Well, if there are no child nodes, then what do we do then? Yeah, there it is. To do test if an empty document, since first is actually assuming that we have something. And we should also test what if the trivial already exists, but let's come to that afterwards. So because first, this is what we face right now, first will actually throw if the sequence is empty. So what we could do is these child nodes, what does this return? This returns an enumerable. What we could do is first do basically an any check, .any, which checks, does this sequence have at least one element?
Yep.
Or we could also use, there is first and first or default, where first or default will return the default if the sequence is empty, if there is no first element, or if there is not at least a single element. And now this first node may be null. What do you prefer?
First the default. I mean, if the default is what we can use, that's the default.
And
you prefer the other one?
No, I do prefer that, because we do.
Okay.
If we would do any and first, we would actually iterate the collection twice. So from a performance perspective, this is better. Yes, so I love it.
Okay, good.
And so these child nodes, they return a syntax node, which is a class. And a class may be null. And the default of a class, that is a reference type, is null. This is where the default is coming from. If we would have a collection of integers, then first or default would return 0. Because the default of integer is 0. Yeah. So this default was first or default kind of really only works if you have a non-nullable collection. Because if you have a nullable collection and maybe you have a collection where your first element actually is null, then again, you wouldn't know if there is a first element or if it's actually is null. So we couldn't differentiate between these cases. Now that we actually have a non-nullable collection of reference types, in this case, I really love first or default, because it does really differentiate.
And in the other case, we would have to do the any check
we
to
would
be
need to do
precise.
Yeah. Or some other facility, or just try to iterate one element, and if we can actually iterate once, then go on. But something like that, yeah. So we would need to, how do we do that? If first or default, or we could do something like this, is something, I think we then can state that is syntax node. Let's call this first node, because this is what we have here. Well, this technically is nullable. Is it? No, it's just like... this is how we... Okay.
What?
Yoy, I like this better, but is this...
Yeah.
Is this a ReSharper warning? This is actually a Microsoft warning, or the compiler warning. I'm not certain. Use the null pattern instead. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of
I mean, we can use it. I will promise you that, like, literally next month, if I look at this, I will have forgotten.
Yeah, if you do an is check, is with the empty parentheses, this is you check if it's not null. In here you do pattern matching, because what you could now do is you inspect that syntax node. So we have a syntax node here, and let's see what a syntax node has. A syntax node has, let's go for public properties, something like a raw kind, which is an integer. So what you could do is, if raw kind is 1, and this expression now is, so this pattern matching now checks not only is it not null, but also is the raw kind 1. and you can combine that. Let's check if the language is C#, for example. And this is where pattern matching comes in really, really powerful, because you can have very terse syntax. And if you only want to do the null check and not check any additional properties, now you end up with this empty pattern matching check.
Mm.
And this is where the empty braces are coming from. And this is now only a null check. What you could also do, I think this is an earlier version of the language. A later version then also allows to state it here specifically. I think this is a use the null pattern instead. Oh, okay. Yeah, because this is actually a type check. Because now I check not only is it not null, but also is it that type. This is the is that we saw earlier actually. Is
Nice.
basically is
That's
C#, but this is exactly what we had earlier, now I realize. But we check it if it is that type, although we already know statically, yes, this is this type. We don't check anything in the type hierarchy. So this type check is redundant. Therefore, it recommends to do just this null style pattern matching check. And now we enter this code only if we actually have a first element. But if we don't, now we wouldn't add this new node. So we still need an else to add this nullable trivia that we created here. So I guess we can just then go ahead and say to our root. Can we add node? No. Can we insert node? Yes, we can. We find node, replace node, insert after. There is no add nodes. Well, maybe we insert, yeah. But doesn't insert node after also take a... Yeah, it takes the nodes that we want to insert after. Ooh, I'm mashing buttons here. Is there no? I'm wondering. Insert nodes after, get current nodes, insert node, move node, replace nodes, track nodes. How do we get? Oh, because would we create a new syntax root? Would this be root with something?
Yeah, that looks good, right?
I'm not sure. Okay, whenever I'm not sure how to... Oh, with additional annotations, with leading trivia. Oh, hold on. This actually is trivia. Ooh, yes, it does. You're right. So we could say with, I guess, well, if it's really empty, then there is no trivia. So I guess we could do either, I think. Can we just say with leading trivia? No, but that's on the root. I'm not sure if that would work, but let's see.
And maybe we do now our
nullable trivia. And this will be now our new root. And let's try that. Maybe it does work.
How confident are you?
Yeah, you always ask a confidence question. Now 50-50 only.
Okay.
Expected document change to be 7, but found 8.
Wait.
Oh, yes. Oh,
but
yes.
That's good, right?
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's good.
Is it? No?
That's almost good. Well, we didn't get here. Well, at least it didn't fail dramatically. So we passed that.
Yeah, small wins.
We added a new document, so let's put it to 8. And now we come to that assertion. Let's find out how the text looks like. It didn't crash or Wendley, so that's a part of it. Yes, content did not match because there is an additional new line that we... So we don't expect a new line. So if I would add a new line here, I believe now this would pass. Oops. Control 8, there we go. What was it? Shift Enter? Shift Enter. Okay.
Nice. Well done.
Now, let's write a test that, because we still want to assert this Visual Basic thing.
Yes.
So let's create a test. Fact. We have async task migrate Visual Basic project. Fails or throws, because we want to throw. Oops. Would you like to use the project builder? This time not the C# project builder, but the Visual Basic project builder to create the Visual Basic project. I'll just do the plumbing of our rest.
Visual Basic.
So
No. Oops.
No, oops.
Sorry. I'm not following you. That was weird.
No.
Project. Right? Yeah.
And I think we have on the project builder, should have a Visual Basic helper. Just that we
Got it.
have on the C# version, because what we used previously is .C#, and I think, we have Visual Basic. What does this one take? This takes, we don't care about the Visual Basic version. We just want to find out, is it Visual Basic? So I guess we can't just create an empty project. And let's build Visual Basic project. Let's pass it to our act and see it fail. Oh yes. What do we need? What's the problem? Good old problem. Argument type system threading tasks task of Microsoft Code Analysis project is not assignable to Microsoft Code Analysis project. So task of project is not assignable to project.
We need to probably what?
Yes. What?
We need to await it. Is that the
yes?
thing?
Oh,
yes. Okay.
Why do we need to await it?
Because it's async. No. Okay.
Because our
I'm so okay. I honestly have not grown in confidence level so much.
Oh yeah.
I'm just finding out.
Because this is an async method. Well, this async is just a convention, but it doesn't return a project directly, but a task of project. And this task may have completed already or may complete in the future. And to actually extract that project, so to observe the completion of this task, when it is completed, please continue with that project that you have returned. And now we want to do an assert on that throw. So we actually, if we would invoke our micro, this actually should throw an exception. But we don't actually want this exception. We want to capture this exception. So we turn this into a lambda.
Oh.
And actually I forgot this. Fluent assertion doesn't do funcs, right? So because this would be a func of task of what's our return type? Nullability migration. This would be the exact type, and this would be our action. But I don't think we can do act dot should, can we?
Well, maybe we could do act dot invoke or something.
Yes, but again, if we would, it's not us who should invoke that. We want to pass that, because this is now a func of t. When we go into func of t, this is a delegate. And you can think of a delegate as a function pointer. So it's a reference to a method that can be executed. So we're passing the method as an argument, but it's not invoked. But now Fluent Assertion can do a try-catch around it, invoke it, the thing that we pass. So we pass our method as an argument. The Fluent Assertion does a try-catch around it and check, hey, was that exception thrown? And then, check if it actually was that real assertion, that exception or maybe a derived version of it. But I'm not sure if Fluent Assertion has extension methods on. Oh, yes, it does. Okay, never mind. So how do we check if that throws?
That's really funny. Should throw async. No? Probably not.
What do we? I'm not sure
Or
which
just should
exception we
throw.
usually throw. Yes, no. That should be async because this
Yeah.
func, this delegate, it doesn't return a project directly, but a task of project, which again, it's a promise. It may not synchronously complete. So we need some completion asynchrony callback kind of a continuation thing going on. I guess diving into how you think await under the hood is a separate 10-hour stream.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah, well,
We're gonna
maybe
put it
we
in
have
the issues.
a follow-up.
Hello. Good evening. Thanks for joining.
So yeah, we definitely want to do a throw async here because the method under test returns something awaitable.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need to do the waiting now in here. And yeah, I think we so far always expected an invalid operation exception. Currently, we only throw invalid operation exception, so let's go with that one as well. Let's expect an invalid operation exception. And let's also check if the message contains something like Visual Basic or C# or something like that.
Is it like a with message? No.
And or with.
Oh, it is with message. Oh, nice.
With message. Ooh.
Woohoo.
Is there also because with message would be an exact match. Is this also, no, expected wildcard pattern. So with message allows a wildcard pattern, so we can use stars and question marks here. Yeah, that sounds perfect.
So should I do like a little dollar sign? Oh, can't do dollar signs anymore.
Well,
for the stars?
We don't do interpolation here.
For the star. For the wildcards? No?
Well, those wildcards are just stars in a string. So they are just star characters or question mark characters in the string. We don't have any string interpolation here, so we don't need a dollar sign. So you need string interpolation.
Are you saying... Yeah.
You need string interpolation if you, for example, would like to use something of this project.
Yes, got it.
Or maybe like this method, if this act, since this is a func of T, if we want to, I don't know, invoke it in here or something in this string interpolation. Don't do that. This is weird. But
no, let's not be weird. Let's be simple.
But we don't refer to a field or variable in this interpolated string. So we don't in this string, so we don't need string interpolation.
But we want something with Visual Basic.
Like Visual Basic not supported or something. Or yeah.
There was a very good...
Just expect Visual Basic. Visual Basic projects not supported. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we confident about this? Something like that? Oh, not? Did I do that? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That want me to do that. Oh, come on. Oh, sorry. I slipped on my keyboard. I was in a wrong place.
I would actually, so if we do wildcards, then I would not have the leading and trailing spaces. So it should be well, we could, I guess.
No, you're right.
No, I'm uncertain.
And also, oh no, that's right, because Visual Basic is a name. Because I was like, is it supposed to be like capitalized? But I guess it is.
Well, technically, actually, now thinking about it, we could use string interpolation. We could use $sign here. Basic, do language names dot Visual Basic, which again will be Visual Basic. But we now did do string interpolation.
Nice.
So the only thing we ensured that we're not having any typo in Visual Basic. We're using the true Roslyn name, how Roslyn is identifying Visual Basic.
In case it ever changes, we will be prepared.
Yeah. We could also be fancy and instead of projects do name of
Yes. Okay.
project,
Nice.
name of project, and then add an S like afterwards. So this is still the very same string, but I guess it gets a little bit more weird now, doesn't it? So maybe we shouldn't. I guess
Yeah.
that's good enough.
Yeah.
Is this assertion good though? What if I tell you I see two problems? Not
this-
necessarily two problems, but there is one problem.
Oh no, I don't
Do
see.
you see the
I mean,
warning?
oh, I
Do you
see the
have it on
warning.
your end? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it actually already gives it quite away. It's a good warning.
Ah, so
It's
we
very
need to
good.
await it because otherwise we might miss it. Is that right?
Exactly, because now let's run this test. It will dramatically pass because we are not awaiting the completion of this async operation that is checking. So the test will pass, although we haven't implemented it. So yes, we do need to await that. I think you should be able to control that. I think there is a writer refactor. Yes, there is. Do you see that too on your end?
Oops, sorry. I think I might have a different shortcut, but no, I don't see it.
You have Alt Enter?
Yeah, but I don't see it. Oh.
No. That's
okay. I do. Okay, sorry.
yes.
It was just a bit weird.
Cool. Ooh, that gets fancy. What if the plural of project changes? Well,
Wait,
actually,
how would it change though?
Well, if we would support solutions, and in this solution would be 2 Visual Basic projects, then I guess we could. Yeah.
No, what?
So no, we currently have projects. We could say. I guess now I'm confusing myself.
I literally thought you meant like in case. No, I completely missed the point here. I was like, in case like the plural of like projects in the English language.
So no, if we have, because currently we only have one project, but later on we also want to support solutions, and solutions could have multiple projects. And what if there's multiple Visual Basic projects?
Okay. But then how? But it would still.
Well, stupid projects. Yeah. Well, I guess because this is a more general statement.
Maybe we should just say something. It should be an invalid operation exception, and that it contains something with Visual Basic. No, it's bad.
I'm not sure. If I scroll, this is generally
I'm
true.
correct. Yes. Quick screenshot. Oh no.
Okay. Was referring to the string interpolation with the project, I think. So screenshot, yeah. Well, it's recorded, so.
Yeah. Nice. We do have to do like a
record.
compilation of like the funniest moments. And this will definitely be one of the funniest moments because it's so rare. But yeah, there's a couple of good
Yet another
good moments
on the list. Yes, now this should fail. Actually, I should use shortcuts more. Control UR. Control UR. And this now does indeed fail because we expected invalid operation exception, but found invalid cast exception. What I also like is not to use throw async, but use throw exactly.
What?
I like the exactly version because if we hierarchy. No, not hierarchy. What's that? The inheritance hierarchy. So let's say I would assert for an argument exception. But actually we throw an argument null exception. So if actually we throw an argument null exception, but we expect an argument exception, this would pass because argument null exception is inheriting from argument exception and all is good. If we were expecting exactly, now this would fail because we yes, now this would fail because we expect exactly an argument exception, but we get an argument null exception. And although they are in hierarchy, it still fails because we want to have that except type and not just any type in that hierarchy. And this is why I prefer throws exactly more. Well, I think is invalid operation exception derivable? No. Well, this is not sealed, so technically we could have a more derived exception. Maybe at some point we derive our own exception from it. But this is why I usually prefer exactly, because it's more precise.
Nice. Yeah.
We are not considering any hierarchy.
When I'm on these streams, I feel like really bad for all like the work I've done previously, because I don't think I've ever thrown exactly anything. But I will do that now. I'll do it from now on. Already learned something. There you go.
Because it's not all too common that you have an exception of hierarchies, and that you expected a different one. Then you expect really, for the sake of functionality, expect the more derived version. But yeah, I kind of like to be strict, starting strict, and then if we see, okay, you know what, really any exception in this hierarchy would be cool, then change it afterwards. But I usually tend to be strict first, and then what's the opposite? Go less strict afterwards, because it's usually easier to go less strict than to go stricter. Because when you go stricter, some consumers may already have some assumptions, and usually it's not all of the time, but usually it's easier to change.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
What's the opposite? What's the antonym of strict?
Tools and training. What's that? No, I don't actually know. So strict. No, I don't know.
What's that? Feeling bad for your earlier work never goes away usually.
Yeah. No, because I said, like sometimes on this stream, like you tell me stuff and then I feel like bad for everything I've ever worked on. Never goes away.
The feeling. Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't get it. Okay. Yes. Well, I have it. I still have it. So, oh no, why did I do? Yeah. Well, after 10 years, you still have the feeling. Yeah.
I'm Googling now the opposite of strict.
That means progress. Yeah, that's true.
What's the word?
Strict.
Or not strict. Tolerant.
Do we get more tolerant? Yeah, well, I guess so.
Or lenient.
Relaxed. I like
relaxed. I like relaxed as well.
So we go. Usually, it's easier to go more relaxed afterwards than going stricter afterwards.
Fair enough.
Okay, cool. Failing test. Let's implement it. Did we check?
Is it failing?
You?
Oh yeah, it was. Did we run it? What did we do?
I think we just changed the throw exactly, and that is now should be failing. Yes, because we get a different exception, invalid cast exception, because we try to cast from to C# compilation options that we don't have because we have Visual Basic compilation options. And back to the migrator, would you like to fix that? So there's actually, the C# Visual Basic to-do, and this to-do is done as well. So let's see where we do the cast. Here is our invalid cast exception.
Okay.
Legs? You said legs, right? Legs or permissive?
Ooh, that gets fancy now. Permissive.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever spoken those words. I think I also didn't say lax. I think I said lenient.
Lenient.
But yeah. Okay. But so we want to check
if this is the C# project. Actually, I have a déjà vu. I think we built this already. I have a déjà vu, but let's write it and then we see if we really did.
Okay, is there something on project? No. 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 Okay.
Yes. Well, we definitely need to check the project. So what we could do is check
Yeah.
There is various options. We could either check if the language of the project is is C#, or if it's not C#.
Yep.
There we go. And if it is not, then we throw. Say Visual Basic project's not supported.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay, so if it's not, right? Throw, new, throw anything, throw new, throw something, throw new.
Yeah.
And then what? It says language must be C#, but I think that's
Ah,
awesome.
yes. Well, we expect Visual Basic projects not supported.
Yeah.
We could do that. We could say that too. We could say both. We do some placeholders here, so we could say both. We could say Visual Projects are not supported. Yeah. Well, actually, we could also be it must be C# because we only work. Well, technically, this language names here has C#, Visual Basic, and F#, but Roslyn doesn't do F#. This is just here for the sake of completion, because well, you could extend Roslyn. You could write your own F# kind of parser on base of Roslyn, but in the core Roslyn you only have C# and Visual Basic, so it's usually either one or the other. But technically, one could use our project also on a Visual. I'm not sure what would happen. It should fail. It should fail way earlier, I think. So we won't even get there. But maybe at some point, Roslyn supports more languages, and then we
And
could be
then
more.
we would be, we could
Yeah.
be more prepared. And I just put it like this because it should still like pass because we did wildcards in front of and after this string, right?
Would you mind if I add some string interpolation again to say, because we technically don't know that
Yes,
they
of
did
course.
F# or Visual
Yeah.
Basic, because
Should
what
be.
if something gets added in the future, or so? But we could use again just that language that we have here. Then we say current language is not supported. It must be, and we could do the interpolation again with C#. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Awesome.
You asked about the new. Well, technically, since you could throw something like here too, we could store this exception in a variable and then just do throw x.
Yeah.
What you do need, but usually you don't store that. You don't. So you need an instance of that exception, but you usually don't have it as a field, because usually when you instantiate a exception, you intend to throw it. Usually, I guess 99% of the cases.
Oh,
And oops, I meant to revert. Yes. So we do need to throw an instance of. We need to create a new instance of that thing. And actually, when we throw, this is also the point in time where the stack trace of the exception is set. So the exception, if we follow that, is deriving from system name exception, which is deriving from exception, and that's the base exception type. Everything is an exception, and you have a stack trace there, or is it on the other, because that's a partial type? Is this in here? String stack trace. There it is. No, where's the stack trace? Maybe let's go. I'll just do dot here. There it is. And the property. And this will be set when you throw the exception to. So we now basically in the stack trace we capture the method that we are currently in. So our migrate method and its caller and so on and so on. Yes. Okay. And I will be just moving this up to the very top because we don't need to do any of this work here. Or any of this work would be in vain if we would throw afterwards. Well, actually, we would fail. Would we fail here if I'm not sure. No, we don't really do anything C# specific. We would just create the syntax. Maybe we would fail along the way here, mixing
but we
C#
want to
with
fail
non-C#. But let's fail
right at
early.
The top of
as early as possible, so we don't
all
do
or nothing.
Yeah. So we don't do any redundant work that would fail anyway. And this fails because basic projects not supported. Basic projects are not supported. Okay. So we have an R here. We could do.
My bad.
Nothing to apologize for. We could do.
Yeah, let's be.
We could say something like, we could be very starry here. We say all we want is Visual Basic, not supported, and
Yeah.
do a pattern in here, and then it's good.
Yep.
And everything else is a bit of a detail and language. Yeah.
Ah, what's the shortcut? Woohoo!
I need to quickly check because there is a link, and I may embarrass myself now because I'm trying to copy a link, but I don't see the Twitch. Why don't I see it? Oh, if I log in afterwards, I don't see the chat. Damn it! Because we got a link, but I'm not sure how to extract that from the tool that I'm currently on. Still not the same. Still not solved that problem. Maybe we will come to that back at the end. We already are. I see it is the end already. Okay. Let's see how far we got. We now complete. Have we completed? Oh yeah. I have this old déjà vu that we implemented this already. I'll just do a quick search. If we have, oh, there it is. Yeah. We have, we have some Roslyn utilities, throw if not C#, and then throw something like this. So perhaps we use that method. We can do Roslyn utilities dot throw if not C#.
Oh.
We want to keep that? No, we can keep it.
No, we should reuse our stuff.
Well, we could also improve the other message if you want. Throw if not C#. And put parts of the message in there. And say, what do we have? It's not supported. That's the same thing.
Similar.
It should be C#. You can just add that. And our test should still pass. Oh, why did it not? There we go.
Nice.
Cool. And we also have, yes. And to do test, what if the trip, do we still want to do that test? What if the trip already exists so that we completed all our to-dos in this document?
Let's do it.
Then
let's do it.
We have the migrator ready, and then next time we take care of integrating this in our tool. So what happens if the trivia already exists?
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the chat and I was laughing.
Yes.
It's just nice because last time I think, we were encouraged to stop. This time we're encouraged to keep going, so that's good. Right, where are you? I'm going to follow you real quick because I lost you. All right, we're going to write a little test.
Well, again, let's add to that big test. We'll split it later.
Oh, yeah.
Let's add a document that already has that nullable directive.
Okay, where are you? Are you here? Am I here?
Right. In the nullability migrator.
No. Okay. I'm in a nullability migrator, but I don't see where exactly you are.
In line 121.
Oh, okay. Weird, because I did follow, but I just went to the right file, not to the right line. Oh, but I could have just checked the line on stream. Fair enough. Silly me. Hello. Okay. So add document, and we're gonna name it nullable document. Something like that.
I'm not sure. Is it cool to share? Is it cool to share something from Reddit on our live stream? I don't know.
I think it's cool.
You think that's cool?
Why is it not? Yeah.
Because
especially if it's funny.
Yeah, it's really true. It really hurts.
You can also just screenshot it and then just have the little meme.
Well, I guess that's the same. So because, well, I'm not sure if there's some advertisement, but yeah, I'll take a screenshot of. So this is in Reddit programmer humor. Oops. What we got from Assaulted Devil, and this is this. When you read some incredibly bad code thinking what Moen wrote this, but halfway through you start to realize, oh, well, of course I know him. It's me.
It's me. It's good, isn't it?
I feel seen.
I'm struggling again with this. Okay, I'm not struggling anymore. Woohoo! Oh, did it wrong. Okay. And then we want nullable.
This nullable disable.
Okay, probably nullable disable document, right? Yeah. And is it with this?
Yes.
Nullable enable, but it's.
I'm not sure if a space here is cool. I don't think it. I'm actually not sure. Are we allowed to have spaces after the?
No, probably not. I think that's just me being silly.
Certain. Let's keep it. Our project should fail if it is.
Okay. Oh wait, I just got rid of it.
I quite don't know. Let's find out. Maybe let's also add something. I don't know. Comment. What about we have nullable disable? What would we do? Well, what should we do if we have nullable disable warnings? Should we? What would we expect to do then? Well, what if there is? What if there's nullable?
Because nullable disable has
enable.
the annotations. No, has the warnings and the characters that you can use, right?
Yes.
And nullable warnings is just one of them. So if then we would have to, I suppose. Can you have both? Like, can you just
yes,
add,
but
and then they just so we'd have to actually change it probably, right?
Because basically you can have all of the combinations. You can have disable, enable. Well, there's also restore. Disable annotations, enable annotations, restore annotations. Disable warnings, enable warnings, restore warnings. So you have those permutations of disable, enable, restore without anything, or with annotations, or with warnings.
Nice.
So when do we run our tool? Our tool is intended to run. This is the, where do I have this comment? Will I find this? I guess not. Do we have it in the specs? Hopefully. Yes. We do this before migration strategy. So this would be the first step when starting migration. So perhaps we can assume that there shouldn't be any. But what if there are?
What if there
are? If there
are,
assume. Then I guess they have, they have been set consciously.
Oh.
So perhaps if there is any.
If it's my project.
We don't do anything. Or should we change it? But yes, you could have, to answer your question, you could have, I'm going back to SharpLab. Am I? Not sure what I'm doing. There we go. What you could have is nullable enable, nullable disable, nullable enable, nullable enable. You could have that because it starts. Well, this is
but only one of them actually counts.
All of them are redundant. Well, no. Well, we define a scope, so it goes from bottom down, and after so before the first nullable directive, we get whatever we got from the project. SharpLab is set up to have nullable enabled per default. This is what we did via the compilation options. So having the compilation options. Where do we do that? Here, setting the Oh, I'm not sure what's going on with my draw tool. There we go. Using the default enable context on entire C# compilation options. This is what C# does per default. So until here, we are in a nullable enable state. Well, then we explicitly say enable, so that's kind of redundant. But also it's only valid for the code until the next nullable disable. So it basically, you define a scope. So all of them are totally redundant because, as you said, the last one wins. But if we have something in between, perhaps let's say I want this one method not annotated. So I could do nullable disable, and then afterwards nullable either restore to restore what we had, to restore what it is on the project level, since we are in, so basically what you had at the very top of the file. Since again we are set up, SharpLab is set up to have nullable disabled enabled per default. We are in an enable context. So this is basically synonymous. I'm not sure where this line is coming from. I restart the tool.
What line? What happened?
I always got like a long line here when I started drawing.
yeah.
And so you really can define scopes. Now only this scope or only this area of the document is disabled, and then we are enabled again, and so on. So it's kind of depends. Well, if we have this is really pointless because there is no code in between. There's only trivia. So yeah, now we are enabled, but that's also redundant because we said it on the project already. Long story short, well, this could be technically in the document. So what do we do then?
I mean, I might be completely wrong. It's a very great possibility, but I would vote that we just potentially add nullable. Wait, what is it? And then enable.
Currently, what we currently
underneath.
do, our tool currently is hoping to do nullable disable on every document.
Oh, if it's already there. I got it. Okay. Yeah, then just leave it. Just do nothing.
So if we have, then we do nothing?
Yeah. That's already, they've done the work for us.
Then let's do nothing. Cool. So we assume, do we now need to check all
what
of
else
this
should we do? Like enable it just to be funny.
What if it, I guess if it's disabled already,
yeah,
then doing nothing would be good because, because it's already there. But what if the opposite is already there?
Yeah, then I would vote for just getting, like, writing me potentially underneath, like, am I here? Yes. So that our tool sort of adds nullable disable. Yeah, and then it's fine.
But
without the space, most likely.
But what if the code already is annotated? What if the user has public class C, or let's do I love it. Yes. Has a record and there's a string question mark here already.
Okay.
This is so cool. Why does completion? This is a comment.
Yeah.
This is a string and it does C# completion. This is amazing. But so what if it's annotated already? Now, if we would do this, if this is what we add, we would cause a warning.
Yeah, fair enough. But also leaving it with just feels wrong. Does it? Or should we? I don't know. It just feels like if I have a tool and I tell the tool, can you please disable nullable in all of my files? And it doesn't do that. Would I then be angry at the tool?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think I would be, but
what would
I'm also
you do?
silly.
I guess we all are. Since our tool just automates stuff, and if we take a look at this nullable migration strategy C#, this one, yes, because we are following this one, nullable disable by default. And use this when you're not actively adding. No, hold on. It's actually this one, right? This is what we currently do. We nullable enable default on a project level, and then you must
disable
add nullable disable to the top of each file. So we're actually following this strategy. That kind of assumes that there isn't anything.
Yeah, correct.
But what if there is? But what if there is? Yeah. Well, this assumes none. So if I do it manually, and I have a document where I already set something with nullable, would I then set it to nullable as well, or would I leave it as is? So what would you do in the what feeling do you have that one would do in a
Yeah.
manual step to
Well, in the
fulfill this.
manual step is different because I would
What's
read through
going?
it. I was like, oh, is there already some stuff, some work done?
Yeah.
And or is it just somebody, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't add it unless you do some work on it, right? It's not like something you accidentally write or you try out and then forget to remove. So it's most likely if there's already enable, somebody's already worked on it for this
Yeah.
particular file. I see what you're saying now.
But what if?
We would,
Oh my god, there
yeah.
is so many what ifs. What if we have, because what did earlier? Would you mind rewording that? Because I think you had the nullable disable here.
What,
Afterwards,
really?
right?
No. Wait, what? I can revert stuff.
There it is. Yes, 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 yes.
Oh no! Oh god!
Can you
What's
redo?
the?
Control
Yeah, what's
Y.
that? Yeah. Okay.
German keyboard. It's also an English keyboard, but just Y and C are reworded. Never mind. Yeah. So nullable disable. So if we edit afterwards, we would change something. If we would just edit at the super top,
Yeah.
I guess this would be safe because, well, we would add a nullable disable here, but then comes a nullable enable, and then
That's
so
a good. That's
we
a good
just
shout.
added this. It's noisy. It doesn't do anything. It's kind of annoying.
No, but isn't our tool also like doing the clean? No, we don't do the cleanup. We don't have a.
No, we do that.
Okay.
That's the
So
other
you'd
step.
have to do that manually. Yeah.
That's the other step. Because what if there's nullable enable, but what if, so I'm just removing, so what if we have something like this?
Yeah.
So it's already there. We have my record 1, my record 2, where only my record 2 is nullable enabled, and maybe afterwards there is a nullable disable again. I have a dramatic typo. What if we have something like this? Now, this is consciously annotated. Now it would enable the entire project level, which means this is no longer unknown or oblivious, but actually now not annotated, not null. So we would change meaning here. So we would actually need to edit on the top.
I kind of also agree, but also for like a different reason, because I also think like it's kind of like if I get a task, if I get a ticket and there's like acceptance criteria and I'm sort of like in doubt, I just do exactly what's said in the ticket and nothing else.
But we are writing the
ticket. Pardon?
But we are writing the ticket ourselves.
Yeah, but like if we lean onto this like documentation that you showed before and sort of the strategies that are outlined there, they specifically say put nullable disable at the top of every file. So if we use this like as a description, then at least we're clear, and then at least you know what to expect from the ticket, the tool.
I can absolutely not argue that. Yes, cool. And
Yeah.
we could later on, we could later on have an optimization and see, hey, if there is already something, then maybe we optimize and don't do it again or something.
Or yeah, we give the option to exclude files, for example, as well.
Or that, yes, I love that. We got some feedback, but also
yes, please feedback.
If enable remove is disable leave, but also never mind, just leave. Just leave it. Do you mean unchanged or just add it regardless and leave it as
enable?
I'm not sure if I understood correctly.
If it's enabled, so that's actually a little bit more. If I understood correctly, it's a little bit more aggressive than what we did because we just wanted to add it and like not actually remove any of the code that's already there. Yeah. But I think the suggestion is to actually
just leave it as is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So what we could do is, if it is like the super top, if it is on the top of the document, the very first thing is nullable disable already. Then, because here we would need to edit again. That's kind of weird. So we could do, if it is there, first trivia, it's there already. We don't do anything. But if it isn't, even if there was like a comment, something like, let's say nullable disable document, yes. And then we have the other document would be then something like nullable disable, but I now naturally remove the spaces. I think because I don't think this works. Let's see, we
Yeah,
have a
I
comment
also
here.
don't think it works. I think that's just me
Let's actually find out.
playing
So
with autocomplete.
if there's something, don't touch it and add. Don't touch it and add to the top.
Okay, yay! Oh, I love it. I'm saying a lot of good things today.
This really won't break anything, yeah.
Yeah.
If we just add on the top everything, we wouldn't break anything, yeah. We shouldn't. No, we wouldn't. Could be weird that if it's double, but we could also ignore that and consider it for future optimizations. And no, that actually does look valid. Cool.
Oh.
Spaces is allowed. Surprises me. Is it? I'm kind of. I'm questioning myself now.
Oh.
I learned something today. Cool. It's always. Yes, I was not aware. Because we now disable and we get here. No. Cannot. Nullable context. Yes. Should only be used in the code with a nullable annotation. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Spaces are perfectly allowed.
Allow.
Cool.
All right.
So
Let's.
so we also need to detect that. So do we, if there is on red top already nullable disabled, do we want to add another one?
No.
So this is the only optimization we do. But if it's like, I guess we can remove that. If it's like that case, now do we add it to the top? Because we don't really know. This could be an enable. This could be anything.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
let's do an enable here. Maybe this makes more sense from a test perspective to look at it.
I guess yes.
Nullable disable document. And this is nullable. I call this just nullable enable document. Then we copy these two. You don't sound super convinced or super happy.
Well, just like it's like to have like nullable disable there twice, just with a little comment in between sounds silly, but I think it's the best option we have, and I think it's what people would expect, and then they'll just have to do it manually. It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
The way the cookie crumbles. Now what cookies? You could also add a hint new item if there's a file with multiple nullable comments. I'm not sure what you mean. Add a hint new item.
No, actually, I don't know as well. I was first thinking it's like, that we sort of like make like almost a. No, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Oh, yeah, a new GitHub issue. Yeah.
Aha! Yes, I agree.
Yes. So let's add
We
to do. So we for now ignore. Okay. So we just aggressively add on the top. So we basically let's do these two test cases. We already have scroll. We already have nullable disable.
Yeah.
And we also have nullable enable. And we just regardless aggressively always add nullable disable. So in this case we have nullable disable twice, and in this case we have nullable disable, nullable enable, and we are.
No, I don't think it should be added twice.
No?
If it's like literally the same thing.
Okay.
No.
To do.
Is that difficult to build? No, right? We just
what
check
about,
what the first thing is.
Yes.
And if it's the right thing.
No, it shouldn't. We just need to get it and read it. That's the
Yeah.
cool thing about Roslyn. Once you have to, I think the difficulty is to get the node. Once you had the node, it's easy.
Yeah.
I think
So-
famous last words. What if we have
4 hours later.
nullable, what do you have nullable enable
Yeah.
as a very first element? Do we also not do anything?
No, of course, no. Then we add it. Then we add nullable disable.
Then we have
on top.
nullable disable.
Okay, but if we add it on top, actually, it would not change anything. It would again just be gray,
No, it
wouldn't it?
wouldn't. Yeah.
But I still think we should do it.
So
I think
if
I
there
think
is,
it's just
if the
silly.
very
Yeah.
first one is something
Yeah.
nullable, then we
Yeah.
don't do anything. If it isn't,
Yeah.
we do. And then we see if we can optimize later to do
I don't
issue.
I don't actually know.
The,
It's a really tricky question. I would actually never mind.
if meaningful. Meaningful. There we go. Oh,
And do we also want to potentially at some point give the option to exclude files?
yes, I guess
Like
so.
if we're, I mean, right now, I guess the sort of objective is to, like, if you have a project and you just want to, migrate it, I guess. But like maybe in the future, we can also like have the option that if you're halfway through and you just want a little bit of help. Yeah.
We could do this in the globbing store. We already have some thoughts about globbing, and we could do that there. Yeah.
Nice. Perfect. Oh, we're doing so well on like actually finishing to-dos and not adding any. And then last 10 minutes.
So we have, okay. So if there's nullable disable, we don't do anything. For nullable enable, we don't do anything. But if there is, I just call this nullable document. If we have something public, let's do a record class my record, and it has some string property already. Now we want to add to the top aggressively. So we copy these, we go down there. Okay, do we still implement that today? This may take a bit, 10, 15 minutes. We're very true to our timeline.
Up to you.
Well, I'm afraid I say yes. I know
In
it's
that
super hard.
case, yeah.
If we can do it in
Let's do
15 minutes, then we break. And indeed, well, we actually now have more documents. We have 1, 2, 3 more documents, so this should be 11.
Yep.
And now we should get some diffs. Missing partial modifier on declaration my record. Well, so because I already have a my record somewhere, don't I? Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, we already declared a my record. I call it my other record.
Nice.
Because we now have in the same name, in the same compilation, the same namespace, the same type, and if it's not partial, boom. Missing.
Oh
yeah,
was?
because it's not only on the. Yeah, we also have it on the expect. I want to change it on the expected, not on the actual.
Oh.
Or on the input, what better to say.
Fair enough.
And now we get, some nullable disable document. We expected nullable disable, but we add another nullable disable. Oh no, hold on. We actually removed the space because we replaced the node. Although it's nullable disable. That's really funky, but we did. We replaced with our not space. So the space went away.
Oh, okay.
So we said, but we lied. We actually changed something, but we said we don't want to change something.
Yeah,
but
no, we can change that. Or do you think, no, that's not bad? Is it really bad?
Well, if we say we don't change anything, but now we do, because if we do in the nullable enable, we wouldn't change it. But here we change it, but remove the space. So we change formatting. I would find this I would not expect that.
Okay, but also, I mean, you're absolutely
Don't mess
right.
with my because this is not a formatting tool we built. Don't mess with
Okay,
my
fair enough.
formatting. What? Excuse me. What?
Well,
do you
but
want
if
to
your
say?
formatting is bad, no, yeah, absolutely, we
So,
shouldn't
like,
change stuff that.
what about that?
Exactly.
Well, I can't.
But
do
no,
that,
you're
but
right. Maybe that's just personal style, and we shouldn't touch it. But also, then it would again, for continuity's sake, all the other files would have no space.
that is also correct. So we would need to. Ooh,
No, but you're right. We don't need to change it
now it gets tricky. Yeah,
if we don't need to change it.
because well, if we do just change it, then indeed the git commit would be messier because we would change formatting.
Yeah, you're right. Then we'd
So
had
it's
like
really
potentially
strange.
like 10 files that we changed where we just had the space. That would be annoying.
Yeah, but we didn't. Yeah, we only changed syntax, not semantics. So that's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Correct.
And cool.
All right.
So if this first token, how do we find out? I said it was easy, right? If this first
Yeah. 10
token,
minutes.
oh yeah, okay, pretty cool. If this first trivia, so now I need to go into, well, SharpLab, of course. How does this look like? If we take a look at this nullable disable, this is a nullable directive trivia. Cool. So let's see, because we do get that's the first token. So let's check if that first token, well, that's a struct. And struct and value types, they cannot be inherited or cannot inherit. So they can implement interface, but there is no inheritance. So it wouldn't be as easy as if first token is nullable. What was the name again? Null directive trivia, because there is no null directive trivia token or something. So we would need to check the kind of it. The question is, what's the kind? Is there a kind of? No, this is not how that works. Syntax trivia. Can we check the syntax kind? There is many syntax kinds. Is there a nullable? There's a null keyword. There is a nullable keyword. There is a nullable type, a null literal expression, a nullable directive trivia. Cool. So, oh yes, indeed. Is_kind. Is_kind looks good. So we can ask is_kind. And is_kind takes a syntax kind, and we saw we have the nullable trivia in here.
Nice.
And now we know if the first token is a null directive trivia. Well, I guess we can we just continue in our loop? I guess we can.
Yeah.
Is this it already? That's way too easy. No, it can't be. I don't think so. Is it? My confidence isn't too high. Way too easy.
Ha. You're right.
Space. So we expected. We do.
Okay, but we just expected. Well, do we again lose the
Space. That's
space?
something. Let's check. Maybe we did something. So we have our nullable disabled document. This is how it is.
Yeah.
If the first. Yes, and we still expect but we can. Yes, we do remove the
Lose
space
it again.
Does this mean maybe the first token
Is
is
that
not
like
what we
with
expect here?
leading? What's the?
Ooh, yeah, but we don't do any. Yeah, something with trivia, maybe, but we already analyzed trivia. If this token, hold on, my bad. Yeah, this can never be true because we analyze a token, not trivia. We need to check the trivia. You're right. We need to check the trivia. I'll come to that comment just in a bit. So we want to check the leading. Hold on. That's the first token. Yes. And of the first token, check the leading trivia. And this is a syntax trivia list. So now we want to get the first item of that list. But only if we actually have something. So if we have at least one element, trivia. This is not how it works. Slice pattern may only be used for values of syntax list, not suitable indexer. Okay, damn it. So we can check the length or the count if we have any. If you're greater than 0, and if the first element, does it have an indexer? Yes. And if the first element dot is kind of that. Maybe. Because now we actually leading trivia is a list of, well, that's a that's a syntax trivia list, and that syntax trivia list is a collection that has, I hope, syntax trivias. Yes, a read-only list of syntax trivia. But this still does not work because we still get rid of that space. Now I regret that our test is so big because I need to comment on that now. So we definitely need to split it up.
Yeah.
Just briefly comment
we
out
totally do.
the documents so that we can debug into it and see what's going on in here. Debug. How much time do we have left? Uh-oh.
None. That's okay. It's okay. It wouldn't be our stream if we wouldn't run over.
That is also correct. Oops. So we have, where did I go? There we go. Our first token is the public keyword, and the leading trivia count is, oh, this doesn't work well with the zoom level that I currently have. Leading trivia count is 0. Can we toStringify that entire to full string? That's not the document I was looking for. Or I was expecting. So this one works fine. Which one was the failing one?
I don't know.
Oh, test is now failing at a different because we only have 3 documents now.
Oh.
But which is actually failing? Nullable disable document. Oops. This one. Yes.
Yeah.
Because the
space.
Do we not? Oh, no. Not sure what's going on. Debug. Do we have child nodes? No, we don't have any child nodes. So we never go in there and then we just edit. Yeah. Oh, we only, if we have a document that only has trivia.
Yeah.
That's trivia only. So there is no.
Okay, but is that what we actually wanted to test? Because I think when we assuming that it's just like the top of the file
Yeah.
because somebody put nullable enable because that already worked on enabling it. And if it's just an empty document with nullable enable, I think.
Because that would be if we have nullable, I just call this nullable disable. And if we have like some type here, I guess this is what you mean, right? So that we actually have a node where this is, good point. My other record.
Like, how many documents have you ever seen that just have nullable enable?
Rarely, yeah. This shouldn't change anything, right? And we add this to the input as well. And we just say we now have 4 documents.
Yep.
Now I guess we will find that, this should kind of, because now, will this work?
Oh.
Yeah, because we still fail on the second document. So yes.
Okay.
Removing that check. Now we'll fail the previous document. I think I just called it nullable disable.cs. Nullable disable did not match. This is with this record type 2 because we added it again. There we go.
Nice.
So we have that case, but maybe the other case is true too. So if we don't even have a node, well, we have to test. I guess so we could check if the root is. What should we do then? Because we don't even go in there. We immediately go to the else. So if we, I guess we need to
maybe we can insert a comment that's kind of like cheeky and be like, did you mean to do that?
WTF.
Just like insert, I don't know, link to a meme on Reddit.
we could ask it if it has leading trivia, I suppose.
Okay.
Actually, not sure what's the difference between what's structured trivia. I don't know. Determines whether descendant trivia is structured. I don't know what structured trivia is. So I'll go with the leading trivia. And we could actually add comments saying, adding some Easter eggs on the 1st of April.
Yeah. That'd be really funny. That'd be really good. That'd be a really good episode. Like how to plant Easter eggs in for your colleagues in your.
We could also do a tool on the 1st of April. It just changes the code, and when you return something, we return null, and then it crashes everywhere, and that's very bad.
Yeah,
and
we could absolutely
using the tool ever again.
No, we could absolutely do. No, but we could because we can do the episode about it, and then we could just publish the changes on 1st of April, and then everybody who didn't come see the episode will be super surprised, and all our loyal viewers will be like, I knew this was going to happen.
So we now set out our 1st of April episode for next year. Excellent.
Awesome.
So I think we need to do this. There we go. Trivia. So we do this directly on the root. We get the leading trivia. So if we have leading trivia,
yes,
and then we can get the leading trivia, and this will return a syntax trivia list. So we could again do this check of, hey, give me the first element, and this zeroth element, yes, is kind. Are you a nullable trivia thing? And then again, continue. When it comes to syntax, there's a lot of corner cases. I just realized that such tooling needs to cover. And now I think about, was it our 2nd or 3rd episode? Where, I embarrass myself. Who was our first guest? It helped us with Roslyn. God damn. How can I not remember? That's embarrassing. I should have not started this sentence, but now I have to finish it because it would be bad. No, that's
to leave you hanging like this, but I have no idea.
David Venture.
Oh, yes.
Almost embarrassed
That was
myself
a
there.
really cool episode, actually.
And
we also learned a lot about the size of Australia
oh yes.
in that
And
episode.
I remember he said that this is why he usually keeps his tool internal and not make them public, because it's when it's about syntax, all these details.
Yeah.
Because C# allows a lot of things, the details can get messy. And yeah, but there's the screen.
I think he was right about that.
yeah, that gets a lot. I guess we also need to check what if it's trivia, leading, trailing. Boy, I don't know what structured trivia is. That's a homework for me. But it says the screen, and we have a comment what I wanted to get back to. If it is enabled, you still want to put disabled above.
Yeah.
Do we?
Well, so I think originally we did say that we're going to follow exactly sort of the description, and the description says explicitly put nullable disable on top of each and every file. I think your suggestion was then that nobody would put, like, if you'd done that, nothing would actually change, because nullable enable would still be the thing.
We could add it, but it would be quite redundant, because whatever comes afterwards is immediately overriding.
Yeah, it is a good question though, and I don't think there's actually a right answer, to be honest.
A tiny optimization, I guess. Yes, but now we actually do set the disabled only if we have, but in this case, okay, cool. And I think that's the last to do. That other than
just comment the stuff
again and
back in.
Let's
run it one last time.
And then we split it, but this is now for the next episode.
That's for the next episode for sure.
And then also next episode we will. Oh no. Not quite in the next episode.
Not quite.
So in a follow-up episode, yes, we will go ahead and then build the actual tool. Now we still need to think about a name for the command.
Correct. Yeah.
Which I have still absolutely no idea about.
No, that's gonna be most of our stream just discussing that, and then
pretty much,
maybe like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes.
And they will be all the time already, yes.
yeah, for sure. All right. But no, I think that was really good progress for today's episode. And we both learned something. And maybe our viewers learned something as well. Thanks again so much for your participation and for your help and for your comments. And really, really useful. And it's always so nice to have you spend the evening with us and code with us. And I think the IDE did really good, really well. Today again, like we had actually no hiccups. Still, I think it's a little bit sad that I can't run the test. I actually didn't try it today, to be also completely fair. But I don't see the I don't see the tests running. Oops, what happened? Sorry.
Oh yes.
Anyway, but we can go back to that. Yeah.
Can you see that? You don't see the test explorer, right? Can you hit?
And I also can't follow you.
Right? Oh yes. Guess not see
Alt 8.
Alt 8. Yes.
I mean, no, not available for guests, hosts only. I see. So that's a shame that I can't sort of run the tests as well. Like, that's just a privilege that Stefan has, and I do not. So I think that's something we criticized last time as well, and I suppose that's still true for today. But the following works really well. Autocomplete works really well. We didn't have any crashes, any hiccups. So I think Code With Me did really well here. What do you think?
Oh yes, I'm super happy with it. If it would support the test as well, then
it would be.
I think the code completion that works better for you, right? For
sure.
As a guest, if you would also see the tests, then it would be quite parity so we would have the auto completion power of Rider and also the test viewing from Fleet, and then that would be the best of both worlds. Then it would be
absolutely.
Happy, yeah. Muy happy. Oh, that's bad.
No, we did so bad on our Spanish. It's such a beautiful language, but I think that was very ambitious of us. Like we can't do like a new language each stream. I think we're struggling with like English as it is. So
And
let's leave it at that.
and C# trivia as well.
Oh yeah, of course. That
Just
too.
adding one more comment. What if it's nullable enable warning on top?
We didn't cover. Did we cover that?
That
Yeah,
not
we
quite.
did talk about it, didn't
We
we?
still don't want to
But we
change it.
didn't solve it.
I would say yes. I would say this shouldn't still change. I would say it should still be the same behavior. So in this case, also keep the warning, because adding a nullable disable here would be quite weird. So I think is when we split the test, we could make this a theory and try all the nullable permutations, which would be nullable with and without warning, nullable enable disable with and without warning and annotation. And also restore, could also be restore. So if we have anything permutations, those are 9 permutations that we saw earlier. So I'll also add a test for that to cover all of these scenarios. Thanks for the input.
Nice. Awesome.
And, we got some praise, I guess. One of our best shows ever. Thank you very, very much. Trivia section is level 500. Yeah, I suppose. You don't need to inspect Rosalind trivia all of the day. I rarely do it, and then I don't know what I'm doing and Googling. Very educational and extensive crafting, sewing. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining. And we also have like a really, really cool episode coming up for you guys. Would you like to
yes.
do the honors?
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
actually really excited.
So in 2 episodes, we'll come back and exactly where we left and split the tests and integrate our tool. But for the next episode, we have our next guest, or our first guest actually for this season. Martin Ulrich will be joining us, and on Stack Overflow, it seems that he's answering most of the MS Build questions. So it's a very high chance that if there is on Stack Overflow an MS Build question, that's very likely that Dasmuli has answered it. And he'll be joining our show and will be doing some nice MS Build stuff with us. We currently have some duplication going on, simplifying that and utilizing the power of MS Build, and also a bit of NuGet. And we will dive into that in the next episode, which will be on 2 weeks and 2 days, so on Thursday, the 29th.
Awesome. Would love to see you all join us there again
and
learn with us.
Just one last thing. Is the bottle that you have, is it illegal? There's some EU.
Yeah, and I need to. I don't know. It's attached, so.
Oh yeah, so it is. So it is. Is it legal if it's not attached?
Yeah.
Oh really? Well, that's a law.
Is it? Well, I actually have no idea. I just noticed that they all are this way. I actually don't mind.
So you do have the legal.
I think I just did it very sort of sneakily like this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Potentially, but it is actually
compliant. Okay, cool.
I am compliant. All my bottles are legal.
Well, to be fair, I really hate those. I kind of hate these.
I used to, but I got used to them now, so I actually don't mind it anymore. Yeah.
I always
and it's
mess them. They always point in my nose and then make glasses, and then I'm angry.
I agree, but I'm also like super clumsy, and it's like that it's really, really warm everywhere. I take like water bottles everywhere, and I'm clumsy and I have 100 things in my hands, and then I used to drop the cap so many times. And if you're like on the tube and you drop the cap, it's really disgusting. And this cannot happen to me. I can drop the whole bottle, but then I have, that's a different problem.
I haven't seen the benefit yet. Of course, apart from the
Yeah,
from the
maybe it's just not as clumsy as me. Maybe
environmental
they just
benefit.
didn't
But
do it for the environment. They just did it for people like myself.
from a UX perspective, okay, there's also a benefit there that I didn't see yet. Yeah, okay.
Totally.
Cool. Then we'll be back
Awesome.
on August the 29th doing MS Build and NuGetting. And thank you very much for joining. We'll be back.